Oh, I hit an old coconut. I hit an old coconut shell. These mosquitoes are making me itch. Ew. I hate being outside. Oh, are you filming, Chris? I didn't know I was on. Let me get back into my character because you guys got to see my real self there for a second. We're doing a video on how to mix soil. And this is some, I swear I did a video on how to mix soil before. I don't know, maybe I didn't. But this is peat moss right here. 100% organic is what they tell me, but don't believe everything you read on TV. Because you read a lot of stuff on the TV. And this here's peat moss, this sphagnum peat moss, and it comes from Canada, I believe. Yeah. Yep, a product of Canada. You better believe it, buddy. Sun-Grow Horticultural. You better believe it comes from Canada. Now, there's a Bruce Lee way to open this. You gotta like stab it with your fingers and then taste a little bit. But this is the primary component of what I like to use. I mean, think about that. The pH is really neutral, okay?
Inert?
It's inert too, I guess, whatever, I guess. Maybe, I don't know about that, but yeah. If you want to tell me, yeah, I guess. I'm not going to write that on my book, though. But I will say the pH is neutral. And it's lightweight. There was already some soil in there that was mixed, but that's the first step. Hold on. Woo. This tree looks good over here, Chris. Stay there. I was just letting people know it looks good. You don't want to breathe that stuff in.
No, sir.
You really don't. So you should have on a respirator, but someone already probably bought that, and the price is too high. So just breathe it in slowly. Don't breathe it in at all. Wear your mask. This is the one time that I really tell you probably should wear some kind of mask. Even for this is not. You should have a hose. Let's do the hose trick. I forgot the hose. I've been doing this for years. Stay there. I've been doing this for years, and I should have known how to do this already. This'll dumb it down. This'll just make it. I don't always do this. I'm so stupid I forget to do it. But this'll make it so it's less dusty when you mix it, just a little bit. Tell you what. I did get a nice whiff of it. That dust. Somehow I breathed it in.
A little bit of Canada for you.
It's good for you. Just a little bit every once in a while. And that's gonna just help it be less dusty. Now, I do have some perlite. So that was the first ingredient. You could plant directly in that, dude. You could grow right in that. A lot of things. I'm trying to think of what wouldn't grow in that. Some stuff would have trouble eventually.
Blueberries?
Blueberries would probably grow in that. But the trick would be maintaining the water balance.
And pH. Because they like high
that
acidity.
would depend on what kind of fertilizer you gave it and then what kind of water you were using, what your water source was. But you could raise them probably in that. But see, then what you're watering with makes a difference and what you're fertilizing with makes a difference. I'm just going to say this is a highly versatile substrate that I use for almost everything that I sell. If I sell it, it grows in this. And that includes some stuff that I don't sell. Like, I don't know if you're going to get the best fruit, but you can grow a mango in that. You could grow a canistel, I know it, because I do it. You could grow star fruit. You could grow Eugenias. A lot of the Eugenias grow in it. Almost everyone I have grows in it. Pitanga loves it. You can grow Pitanga in pure peat. But here's another ingredient that you definitely don't want to breathe in. And it's horticultural grade perlite. Let's look at it. Now, I'm going to give you a speech on this because I looked up a video that I didn't understand about this. Let me see if I get some facts wrong for people to check me on. Perlite is a mineral that comes out of like a volcano. And when it comes out, it's like silica, like obsidian. It looks like pebbles. It's like little pebbles of glass, and it's probably got some weight to it. Like, think of it like rice before it turned into a Rice Krispie. Well, they put it through this process where they expand it, and it turns into this. Because at first it's gray, and like dark gray kind of, you know? This turns it white and fluffy. So this is like puffed silica that comes out of volcanoes. Like, once you get perlite out of a volcano, it's not expanded. There's a process of expansion where they heat it. And that's how we get perlite that we're expanded. We're used to seeing perlite that's expanded. But it comes raw where it's not expanded. That's what I learned. I don't know if that's right. Quote me on it though. Now you really don't want to breathe this stuff in. And if we're gonna say this represents, do you hear that? If we're gonna say this represents 90% of total volume, the peat moss, we want the perlite, for what I'm doing, to only represent about 5 to 10%. So let's do that. And try not to breathe this at all. That's more than I need. Let that settle down, Chris. Maybe step away. You're down, Wayne. He's strong. I'm gonna put the hose on it real quick. Hear them monkeys in the sky? That sounds crazy.
There they go.
You see them?
Yeah.
Where did they go? Yeah, whistling ducks or something. Look at them things. They're huge. Well, they're not huge. What the heck are those? Don't breathe it in. Okay, I hosed that down to make it so it wasn't dusty. I threw the hose down and it hit. Okay. So let's gently stir this in. And I think I went more than 5%. Maybe not. I could have used less. I could have used more. If you have something you know likes really light and drainage quick, add a little more. But really, I wouldn't add more than like 20 or 30%, dude. I think if you add any more than that, it turns into this heavy, compacted, horrible mixture. I don't think you should even add more than like 20%, 15%. I don't know, dude. Less is more with this stuff. You don't need a lot. That's what I'm learning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people where they recommend 50-50. Like use a 50-50 mixture of perlite and peat moss. It's like, dude, no. I've seen that. It's bad news. It compacts. I'm just trying not to breathe this in. Wait, I've got this. I forgot. I got my balaclava. Look at my shirt too in the meantime. This is my homeboy shirt that I'm wearing today. Kevin, we're giving you multiple shout outs for your leaf squad. This is the official leaf gear. You gotta wear the mask or you're not official. I forgot I had a mask the whole time. And you gotta mix this in thoroughly. Let's hit it again with the water. And then we'll come back with the holly tone in a second. Look at, I'm getting all the particulate matter out of the air when I do this procedure here. Then we come back in and we wet the surface. This is a whole procedure. I'm the supervisor here of soil mixtures. Now at this part of the procedure, we open up the holly tone. This is just a product that we use around here. You don't have to use it. You got a knife on you? Thank you. Ah! Thank you. Let's look at this before we use it. Hold on. They say it's organic. I don't believe it though. 4-3-4. That's not too high in the nitrogen. I really would like a different ratio, honestly. I wish it was a 2-5-5 or like a 2-8-8 or like a 1-20-20 or something. I just don't like, this works. It's not the best, but it works. It's got beneficial stuff in it, they said. Mycorrhiza. So look how much I put for this. This is what I like to think of it like. First off, don't get it on your hands. It doesn't feel good on your hands. It'll make your hand burn. And it smells like feces, because it is feces. For this, look at, if you want to be like stingy, That's probably enough, but I'm going the distance today. So, I did another. That's like, okay, it's like seasoning on a pizza, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, maybe 2%.
Oh.
Maybe.
That smells like feces pieces. Watch out real quick. Wow, that just smells like, it just smells like a portolet at the fair, man. It's just like unbelievable. And you know what? The dogs like to eat it. Like your dog, if it finds it, will come and eat it. Now I don't want to wet it up too much, just a little bit. Because once you wet it, it's go time. I just wanted to wet it a little bit to keep it from... Ew, it just stinks. But yeah, dogs like to eat it, and I wouldn't recommend that your dog...
Squirrels I've seen eat my other fertilizer that's similar.
My dog's eaten it several times and it's never killed him, but I bet you it could cause a problem. It is organic. It has cocoa meal in it. So think about that. That's not good for a dog, I don't think. Anything from a chocolate tree is not good. And then that's why they have soil mixing machines, because you see me struggling right here. But here I go, here I go, here I go. Let's wet it down again. I should have had my mask on. It's getting there, but it's definitely not mixed enough. It's not mixed to where I like it. Not yet. But that was it. Those are the 3 ingredients. And this is my mixture. And you see what I'm doing. You make sure to get the bottom and mix in that bottom and break up any big chunks and stir get that bottom stuff and mix it around and off the edges.
Is a shovel the best thing to use, would you say? That you found?
I don't know. It's what I use. It may not be the best thing, but it's what I use. It's
pitchfork or anything like that, do you think?
That helps, I guess. But you could use just a shovel and you get a workout. Switch hands. Go at it left. Figure out the best way. It's fun. It's like a game. But you definitely want to get evenly mixed and look for anytime you find a big chunk of white, you're like, jackpot. I just found perlite that needed to be mixed. You don't want clusters of perlite. Whew. All right. I think we're good. I mean, I'm being lazy right now. I could mix this a lot more. But if I was in a rush, I could plant this. Whew. There's too much dust. Whew. Whew. I've been holding my breath the whole time as I'm mixing, you know what I mean? And by now I'm like dizzy from holding my breath as I'm mixing.
Just trying to show this.
Show it to him. Let's wet it down again. I think sometimes too, depending on atmospheric conditions, it just, there's no dust at all. And then other times it's like you can't avoid it. Like I know for a fact, and right now it's like Dustville. Like something about the atmospheric conditions are like creating a dustathon. But I've just been trying to hold my breath as I mix. I think I did pretty good. I only inhaled some peat. It's Dusty. Dusty Rhodes, man. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. Tell you what. Ever since he retired, I stopped watching, Chris. What'd they call him? I forget. He had some other name, but I like him. He was just great the way he would talk. I tell you what, he was sassy. Something about him, boy. I gotta figure out how he talked. Okay. That's about the mixture there. Whew. Don't breathe it in.
And again, you're almost planting anything in this?
Just about, man. I mean, anything that I sell, I'm having trouble thinking of what I wouldn't put in there.
Right.
Let me think real hard and long here about what I wouldn't put in there. You know, there's a certain Eugenia Garcinia. And then anything from the Cerrado, like this part of Brazil, where it's dry in the wintertime and has a really low pH in a particular soil type, I wouldn't put it in that. I've tried and killed stuff. You keep it alive for a year or two, then it dies. I'm trying to think about what I wouldn't put in that. Anything that I sell on eBay, it goes in something like that. I'm just saying. Same type of mixture, you know what I mean? But we don't mix it right here all the time.
Right.
But this is a general potting mix that I use for big trees, little trees, stuff that I'm planting here. Loquats does great in this. Mame would do fine. Now, I don't know how, that's for growing. Now, long-term planting this and trying to fruit them, maybe you get better tasting fruit, like on a longan, if you had a more alkaline soil or irrigation or fertilizer. You know, you can add lime to a mixture. I used to grow figs in this, and I used to get garden lime. It looks like crushed concrete almost. And you put it on top of the pot, and it turns almost like crushed concrete, it looks like. And it forms almost like a cake, like mud. They love it. But if you have a fig, maybe do that. Or if you're growing sugar apple or Adamoya, they like a little lime sometimes. It doesn't hurt them. See, they'll grow in fruit whatever you give it. It doesn't matter if it's a little alkaline or a little acid or neutral. But I think some of these fruit trees, I'm not gonna say which ones exactly, enjoy some lime every once in a while, throwing it in there, you know, or trying to raise the pH. But I don't do that here. And I grow a lot of things that all come mainly from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So Rollinia does well in there. I mean, my Adamoyas are fruiting in this. I'm trying to think of what else I'm growing in the same mixture. All the jabuticabas, you know, the Grimmel, Savara, Red loves it. Cherry of the Rio Grande, Savannah cherry, which is Eugenia calycina, Eugenia pitanga, everything that's in the ground here. Sapodilla does well in it. All the Garcinias do well in it that I've grown. I can't think of one that doesn't grow in this that I sell or deal with, that I like to grow. A lot of the stuff that I grow comes from the same area, so this is the basic soil. I'm sure there's one that's better out there, that's more sustainable, renewable, all that great stuff. This is the cheapest and easiest mix I've found for myself. Locally, readily available. You can get the stuff in Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. Maybe. If you're in Puerto Rico, nix that. Hawaii, nix that, because you got to get peat moss from Canada to you, and it's going to be super expensive. So everyone's asking me for an alternative. What do I use as an alternative? If you're in Puerto Rico or Hawaii, just consider maybe using your native soil. Because if you have that red soil, maybe you can mix it with something and use your native soil, because that seems like good stuff to me. Here we have sand and maybe black sand, you know, like organic matter and sand, which turns it black, almost like a muddy sand. I'm not good with geology here. Silt, soot, something. Loam. I don't know. You know, I think that your native soils in Hawaii and Puerto Rico are sometimes going to be good enough to where you can actually grow some stuff in that, maybe if you use it as a constituent in the mix. Primary constituent. I don't know. Mix it maybe, if you got good red earth, maybe mix that with some coconut coir, or I don't know, but try something. I think you could do it. I've seen people growing just in the straight earth that they have there, so you'd be surprised.
Heard sugarcane mulch is pretty easy to come by in certain areas.
I tell
Maybe
you,
mix it with something.
if you look at videos of people in Brazil digging up the jabuticaba trees, they take them out of the ground. It looks like a big old chunk of mud.
Yeah.
And they're digging out trees that are giant. Anyway. Well, we hope you led you in the right direction here. This is how we mix it up, man. Peat moss, sphagnum peat moss Canadian, perlite, horticultural. I like the coarse grade, the bigger stuff. And then a little bit of a holly tone, but you don't have to use holly tone. We use holly tone because it had the mycorrhiza and the beneficials. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.